Hello, hello. This is Teresa Gutierrez here. This is kind of like my video slash audio blog. I wrote this article about vitamin A back in 2022, and I probably should have written it in 2020 for goodness sake, but I didn't. So here I am. I'm going to read it and share it now straight from my website. I genuinely don't think vitamin A was even mentioned during the COVID freak out. Vitamin A is an absolutely amazing nutrient for the lungs. I can't believe it wasn't talked about more as a preventative and restorative food group during all of the COVID stuff. So vitamin A is great for your lungs. There's herbs you can use or foods, plant foods, and it's great for all kinds of coughs and preventing and healing the lungs and other issues. So let's get into that. This is not actually an article about all the COVID crap so much as it is about this amazing nutrient that protects our human lungs from all lung infections. If you want a properly functioning immune system, resilient lungs, great skin, strong eyes that aren't too dry, kidneys that crush it, a digestive system worth bragging about, a reproductive system that doesn't drive you insane, and a heart that doesn't quit, keep reading. And here's my fancy disclaimer. I am not a doctor. I do not diagnose or prescribe. This article is for educational purposes only. I am a shamanic practitioner. I've been an herbalist for 27 years, and I teach the historical and modern uses of plants. Adults get to make their own adult decisions for themselves and their children. Your health sovereignty is 100% supported here. So the benefits and deficiency of vitamin A. Vitamin A is fat soluble and includes retinoids such as retinol, OL, retinal, AL, and retinil, YL, esters, and carotenoids, which help us with cell communication and normal formation and maintenance of the digestive system, heart, immune system, kidneys, lungs, reproduction, skin, and vision. Basically, all of our mucous membranes rely on foods high in vitamin A. Hello, typo. Vitamin A deficiency may not be common in developed countries, however, it does occur and makes humans of all ages more susceptible to infections, including respiratory infections and further complications, as well as diarrhea. Deficiency of vitamin A can cause dry skin or hair, fatigue, infertility, and severe dryness of the eyes, and even blindness, night blindness, or irregular patches on the whites of the eyes, and or thyroid dysfunction, which also can affect fertility and moods, mental health, and stability. Thankfully, vitamin A deficiency is super easy to prevent and reverse. However, some health conditions can cause malabsorption of vitamin A, even if the foods are being eaten. Conditions such as celiac, Crohn's, cirrhosis, alcoholism, and cystic fibrosis. These issues all have room for improvement, and I personally would never close my heart or mind off of healing miracles either. I would strongly suggest practicing the work of Dr. Joe Dispenza, along with shamanic bodywork, shamanic soul purpose coaching, and dream work and plant medicines. These conditions require a radical transformation of one's self-image, lifestyle, and an ever deepening visceral relationship with spirit or God, universe, spirit, source, creator, angels, elevated ancestors, nature, spirit guides, etc. Whatever terminology works best for you. Preformed vitamin A is found in animal products, whereas provitamin A is found in plants. This is an important difference. Preformed vitamin A is found in animal products, whereas provitamin A is found in plants. Our bodies convert the plant-sourced provitamin A carotenoids into the active form of vitamin A within the digestive tract. Pretty amazing, I think, anyway. So are we looking at the IU, the RDA, the RAE? What what? I took nutrition in college in 1992, and my love affair with shamanic herbalism and nutrition science has never lost its shizzle. But I have to admit, the switch from IU to RAE had me squishing my brain and popping out an expletive for a hot minute. So here's the down low from 2018. Vitamin A is currently listed on the nutrition facts label measured in international units, IU. However, the Institute of Medicine lists the recommended dietary allowances, RDA, of vitamin A in micrograms, MCG, of retinol activity equivalents, RAE, to account for different absorption rates of preformed vitamin A and provitamin A carotenoids. Under the Food and Drug Administration's new food and dietary supplement labeling regulations, as of July 2018, large companies will no longer list vitamin A as IU, but as MCG RAE, so micrograms of RAE. This is from the Harvard Nutrition. And then vitamin A in RAEs listed by age group. 0 to 6 months, 400 micrograms, 7 to 12 months, 500 micrograms, 1 to 3 years, 300 micrograms. That's one of my grandkids' age group. 4 to 8 years, 400 micrograms. That's another one of my grandkids' age group. All right, 9 to 13 years, 600 micrograms. 14 all the way to being an adult male, 900 micrograms. 14 to an adult female, 700 micrograms. Pregnancy, 750 to 770 micrograms. And breastfeeding mamas, 1,330 micrograms. Go get your vitamin A. Toxicity and dangers of preformed animal sources of preformed vitamin A in supplements. Vitamin A being a fat-soluble vitamin means that if the body doesn't need it right away, the vitamin A gets stored in fat cells and the liver. Too much storage of vitamin A can become toxic and increase the risk of bone pain and bone loss, hip fracture, birth defects, decreased vitamin D efficiency, increased cancer risk, cause blurry sight, nausea, vomiting, dry skin, and sensitivity to bright light and sunlight. Some evidence shows that even 3,000 micrograms of preformed vitamin A can increase these toxicity health risks. All right, I've got smoothies here because I put everything into them. So, vitamin A, plant food sources for daily nutrition. And then I put little asterisks by the highest micrograms on the list. We have so many beautiful, delicious choices for vitamin A foods. We've got apricots, broccoli, and black-eyed peas. Lately, I have been eating 1 to 2 cups of broccoli a day, probably 2.5 cups. Let's be honest. Okay, then we got butternut squash, cantaloupe, carrots, dark green leafy vegetables, such as kale, which is right underneath it. But I think collard greens and romaine lettuce are high in vitamin A, and they're absolutely delicious. And I also love kale, and I put it in my smoothies every day. Then we have mangoes, pistachios, pumpkin, red bell peppers, spinach, summer squashes, and sweet potatoes and yams. I eat these every single day. I absolutely love them. My grandkids love them. They go with almost everything. Well, that's my experience. Okay, during infancy, breast milk and formula provide enough vitamin A for baby. Cow's milk has significantly less vitamin A than human breast milk. Cow's milk, all dairy products, also damages our endothelium, the lining of our blood vessels and heart. It interferes with our human vitamin D hormone network and kidney function, along with many other ill effects on our species. Leave the mama cow's milk to the baby cows and get your nutrition from organic plant sources. You can increase the absorption of this fat-soluble vitamin A by pairing it with healthy fats, such as ground flax and chia seeds, avocado, or olives. If you prefer to use oils in some recipes, I suggest flax oil for the omega-3 fatty acids that reduce inflammation. Olive oil is my second choice, and those omega-9 fatty acids. Coconut oil is too high in saturated fats and damages our endothelial cells and increases inflammation. Increased absorption of vitamin A from fruits and vegetables is best when fruits are ripe and vegetables ripe and cooked. 2.5 to 3 tablespoons of freshly ground flax seeds a day have been proven to reduce many symptoms of cardiovascular disease, such as hypertension and cholesterol. So adding this amount to kale smoothies or yam soup or my favorite oatmeal recipe will increase your health and resilience to viral infections. I would also like to add that if you are adding more fiber into your diet, because flax and chia seeds are very high in protein and very high in fiber, drink more water throughout the day or healthy teas as listed below. So here's your herbal sources of vitamin A from retinol and carotene. Alfalfa herb is a nourishing herbal infusion, and those who don't know me yet, now I'm going to tell you a nourishing herbal infusion is when you take an ounce of the dried cut herb, which for many of them is about 1 cup, but depends on the consistency of the herb. And if it's a root, it's typically a 1/4 cup, but it just depends. So this is alfalfa herb. So you would take 1 cup or 1 ounce of dried cut alfalfa herb and let it steep in just boiled water with the lid on for between 4 hours all the way to overnight, and just, strain it and then drink it all day. So that's a nourishing herbal infusion. Then we have black cohosh, burdock root, cayenne, chickweed, comfrey leaf, dandelion, echinacea, fennel seed, garlic, ginger, lobelia, mullein, another nourishing herbal infusion. We have a few of these on here. Nettles, which is also very high in iron, very high in calcium, and helps people reverse all kinds of problems because it's so nourishing. We have peppermint, red clover blossoms, red raspberry leaves, rose hips, watercress, yarrow, and yellow dock root. Note, nourishing herbal infusions are for daily preventative, large dose use of 1 ounce dried leaves, roots, or blossoms, steeped in 4 cups of water for 4 to 12 hours, strained and sipped all day or added to smoothies, which I love to do. Props given to Susan Weed for her nourishing, innovative contribution to living herbalism. Studies have proven the safety and benefit of the following herbs, even while pregnant and nursing. So for those who are pregnant and nursing, we've got most of these herbs here. Well, a lot of them. Alfalfa, burdock root, calendula, hawthorn, hibiscus, linden, mullein, nettle, oat straw, plantain, red raspberry leaves, and violet. For some people, too much violet can cause nausea, vomiting, or diarrhea. Some people also have an allergic reaction to some members of the Asteraceae family or aster family, such as chamomile or chamomile, however you like to say it, calendula, and burdock. Treat these with caution when sampling new to you herbs. So here I have even listed out and put some links for vitamin A for the measles and all types of coughs. Vitamin A drops can be recommended and prescribed by a medical practitioner, but this is not something you would do every day. So, reminder, too much vitamin A can cause toxicity, so work with your medical professional. The following vitamin A treatment of measles is recommended by Dr. Aviva Ram, and I put this link right here to her website if you want to read all about it. Babies under 6 months old have 50,000 IUs given once a day for 2 days. Babies 6 to 11 months get 100 IUs given once a day for 2 days. Children over 12 months, 200,000 IUs once a day for 2 days. Also, for ages 2 through 14, Dr. Ram suggests vitamin A at the onset of measles and to continue for a few days after the symptoms have resolved. Take vitamin A from beta carotenes 1,000 to 5,000 milligrams a day. If there's any clarity needed around this, just work with your medical professional. And please read Dr. Ram's full article right here on this pretty green link. Now, I know not a lot of people get the measles anymore, but it can happen, and it is something that you can typically work with. I have a whole program called the Measles Kit, and then you could just read Dr. Ram's work right here. But she does give us a warning right here. Should your child at any time exhibit symptoms such as painful cough with difficulty breathing, possible pneumonia, severe headache or convulsions, possibly encephalitis, drooling or difficulty swallowing, hearing difficulty, or if there is any other indication that your child is seriously ill, seek medical care immediately. Sorry for the typo. All right. I wrote a book called The Measles Kit with thorough instructions and herbal recipes for each symptom of the measles. After my kids got over what was likely pertussis or whooping cough, that's what the high school said was being passed around, they had a lingering dry cough. I did not know yet that they needed demulcent herbs like mullein and vitamin A support. I took them to my ND and informed her of everything I was doing for them, and the only thing she added to my protocol was a specific amount of vitamin A drops for a very limited amount of time. My kids got rid of that lingering cough quickly after that. A lot of people develop bronchitis or a lingering cough after the flu and other viral infections. If the cough is dry, then demulcent herbs plus antispasmodic herbs are super effective. If the cough is wet, then we also need to know if it's stuck or too thick to expel that mucus, or if the coughing action is productively expelling the mucus properly, because these symptoms tell us which types of herbs we need. If you need help with this, please reach out to me. I have an entire course on colds, flus, COVIDs, viral infections. And these are the beautiful chamomile. I've been growing these with my granddaughter since November because I live in Phoenix area. So we start planting in November. She planted the seeds and grew them and took care of them. And now they're beautiful flowers that we pick for her tea. And it's beautiful. Chamomile teas and tinctures are antispasmodic and antimicrobial, one of the many herbal options safe for pregnancy, nursing, and children with a dry cough. Lemon balm is another brilliant choice that came to me in a dream to help me with a cough and simultaneous grief. Grief sits in the lungs and large intestine in traditional Chinese medicine, so it makes so much sense to me. That's another blog for another day. Coughs often come with many of the strains of the flu or influenza viruses. There's different strains and the COVID strains, not just the measles. Protecting ourselves ahead of time by ingesting plenty of vitamin A foods every day will help our lungs be more resilient to more complicated infections like pneumonia. Our cells are constantly making new cells before the old ones die, obviously. But what I find so amazing is that when we feed our bodies, our cells, the right amounts of the right plant foods, including herbs, our cells make better cells and body parts through each cycle. With vitamin A plant foods, we aren't just building better lungs day by day, we are improving our entire bodies, as discovered in paragraph 1 of this blog. Coughs also come in types, meaning a dry cough, a wet and productive cough, and a wet but not productive cough. Sometimes, as the virus runs its course and our bodies work their magic through these phases of the disease, the type of cough can change, and we actually have a lot of power here. Our power to choose the correct herbs for the type of cough and the most supportive foods and teas to support our healing process. Some foods high in vitamin A, such as broccoli and kale, are also high in sulforaphanes, which further protect us in cases of viral infections that affect our lungs, including the COVID crap, as proven in these research findings by Johns Hopkins Medicine. So those results are right here on this link. We can even make a tea or infusion with broccoli sprouts or seeds if we don't feel like eating when sick. However, it's important to remember that all your vitamin A foods are excellent for the recovery phase of illnesses. When one of my adult family members was recovering from the COVID crap, I made a delicious vegan yam soup that he loved. Nutritious, hydrating, and delicious. While still in one of the beginning stages of this illness, he had severe diarrhea, so I made a strong red raspberry leaf infusion known to help with fevers, diarrhea, and a wonderful source of provitamin A. Another option for that would have been blackberry leaf tea, which I believe you can find at the store also. So adults should easily be eating a minimum of 3 cups of kale per day, which is easily accomplished in a smoothie or salad, but also delicious cooked in a variety of meals. Quick math, my 75-pound grandson would only need about a cup and a half of kale a day, and my 25-pound granddaughter only needs half a cup a day. Adults need 1 cup of broccoli or other cruciferous vegetables a day, in addition to the cruciferous kale, such as cabbages and Brussels sprouts. Another quick math, my grandson only needs half a cup a day, and my granddaughter needs 3 tablespoons. That's it. My granddaughter and I are obsessed with all the hummus variations. So this is the easiest, most delicious way we eat our broccoli. And I didn't write this in here because I just started it this year in 2024, but now I make a super delicious plant-based Caesar dressing, and I love to dip my broccoli in that too. So anyhow, okay, so when I wrote this blog last week, I steamed a bag of frozen broccoli and brought it to my daughter's house. My grandson ate 2 cups of broccoli, only leaving his little sister with 3 tablespoons. She was bummed. But he doesn't like hummus. He just eats it straight. He loves it so much. All right, if you enjoyed this article and found it useful, I created a free downloadable PDF that includes all this amazing information, plus my favorite oatmeal recipe high in vitamin A, my vegan yam soup recipe that even men like, and 2 super easy Slurpalicious smoothie recipes my kids and grandkids love, plus a fun explanation of the difference between teas and nourishing herbal infusions, and a chart for choosing the best nourishing herbal infusion for your specific body's needs, with instructions on how to make them. Phew! Just click on the link below and it's yours. Enjoy. Free PDF download. Click here. Thank you for joining me today. Have a beautiful week.